Chaver Bezrat Hashem, welcome on. Oh, Avi Karakowski, just in time. Chaver Tefilot B'Shem Kol Yisrael. It's great to see everyone. We have 2 days until Shabbos. We have 63 days until Purim. 63 days in 78 days of intensive longing. Intensive longing. Chaver, Wednesday night. It's crazy how the week is flying. But we're trying to have long days here. We're trying to have long days. Chavar Tefillah B'Shem Kol Yisrael for Pesach Reuven Ben Yosef Asara, Bracha Bas Yehudis, Miriam Dodi Bas Chani Ochaved, Yona Bas Basia, Shir Bas Basia, Sinai Reuven Ben Mani, and I'm getting a name right now, Tinok Ben Malka Chana, who got out of surgery or is still in surgery right now. Bezrat Hashem should have a speedy recovery. Everything should be well. And every neshama in Klal Yisrael and in the world, tefillah. Chavra, this is a Torah from Rabbi Ari Rosenfeld that we're going to turn into tefillah b'shem Klal Yisrael. Hashem is in everything and everywhere. Rabbeinu Sha'ar B'Kol Gadol. Rabbeinu Zal says that in every part of creation we find the kavod, the honor, the greatness of Hashem. Since everything was created by Hashem, there must be part of Hashem in everything. In fact, Hashem exists even in something that is contrary to faith, like an idol. The idol itself cannot exist unless part of Hashem was in it. Because where Hashem is not, there is nothing. Hashem is everywhere, and this is manifested in different forms. Naturally, a person would say that since Hashem Kivyachol is to a degree within that idol, doesn't that give any holiness to the idol itself? The answer is definitely not, because Hashem has actually granted power to the Satan, ordering the Satan to induce people to go against the command of Hashem as a test. So we see that Hashem has created these things as a test for a person to prove himself in his faith to Hashem. In everything that a person sees, the honor of Hashem cries out to a Jew to come closer and to serve Hashem. Chavra, if we to have complete faith, serve Hashem with simplicity, and try getting closer each and every day, and understanding that our mind is above the Satan. We go so high, mamash so high. Kigabne and Bame Malikin, and we're talking about halachos, Likutei Shabbos Kodesh. Again, 2 days until Shabbos. There is a centuries-old custom to recite the second chapter of the Mishnah Masechet Shabbos, called Bame Madlikin. Sure, all of you have learned it before. During the Friday night davening, while initially many Ashkenazic communities recited after Mariv, the overwhelmingly prevalent practice of Nisach Ashkenaz shuls today is to say in between Kabbalah Shabbos and Mariv, like this Friday custom. Halacha B'Shem Kol Yisrael. Chevra. Crazy. 8 Sichot Haran, and this is a big one. Let's open up our hearts. Very, very deep. When studying subjects dealing with tragedy, such as the laws of mourning, do not delve too deeply. One should not probe too deeply in these matters, for thoughts have great power. Therefore, these subjects should be covered as rapidly as possible. Right? So, our mind is really powerful, right? If our thoughts are good, we're going to be in a good place. If our thoughts are bad, they're going to be in a bad place. Now, Rabbi Nachman says in Sichot 46 the following: guard your thoughts carefully, for thought can literally create a living being. It's a very intense sentence right there. The higher faculty, the farther it can reach. Now, everyone knows this connection. Rabbi Nachman brings, you can kick something with your foot, but throw it higher with your hand. You can reach still farther with your voice, calling to a person very far away, like I'm doing to Avi Karakowski, who's in Toronto right now, maybe Krakow. Hearing reaches yet farther, for you can hear sounds like gunfire from a great distance. Your sight reaches even farther, seeing things in the sky. Now, Chaver, let's open up our hearts a million miles deeper. The higher the faculty, the farther it can reach. Highest of all is the mind, the Sichot, which can penetrate the loftiest heights. Therefore, you must safeguard your mind very well. What are our thoughts? What are we thinking about, right, on a minute-to-minute basis, on a second-to-second basis? We learned yesterday that we could have strong thoughts, then they could be negative, but then if we stand firm, the Ribbon Shalom will send another thought right then and there that will encourage us to get closer. It's like you could be in a Shemona Esrei and lose concentration, your mind starts to wander, but then Ribbon Shalom brings you with thought, and then you're focused. You're back in it. You're back in the game. Now we can relate this to a story from a chassid. It's a wonderful, wonderful story. A chassid of the tzaddik of the Rebbe of Sanz, right? He once met a Talmid Chacham who was opposed to Chassidus, right? And I don't understand, said the opposition, said the Misnagdid. I don't understand why you're so infatuated with your Rebbe. The Talmid Chacham said to the Chassid, I'm as knowledgeable in Torah as your Rebbe, yet you are not my follower. What do you see in your Rebbe? What's so special about the Rebbe of Sanz? So the Chassid replied, Chavra, Nita, it's great to see you. My Rebbe can read my thoughts, the Chassid replied. I don't believe that. How can it be he can read your thoughts? Why? My Rebbe has taught me how to read minds, saying the Chassid. I can tell you what you're thinking about right now. You're probably thinking Hashem, or no, you are thinking that Hashem is great and fills the entire world. It fills the entire universe. And the Misnagdid replied, wrong, I was not thinking that. So the Chassid said, that's why I'm not your follower. Very deep stuff, Chavra. Very deep stuff. Chavra, are we infusing in our minds thoughts of the Ribbon Shalom is filling all worlds, and he's great, showering good upon us each and every second? Or are we creating living beings that are not so positive? They're very much negative. Bezrat Hashem, only positive thoughts. The mind is so high, such a high faculty. Let's use it for the good. Questions, comments, please feel free.
Evra, what's going on, gang?
Nita, it's so good to see you.
Yeah, thank God, brother. I'm back in spot.
Oh my gosh, walking the streets of Spot.
Oh my, it's so good to be back, bro. You don't even know. Be back in yeshiva is just nuts. Not to be like a madrich, right? Just like learning, just like a guy in yeshiva. It's insane.
Baruch Hashem.
But you guys want to hear something strong that my Rosh Yeshiva just had, Ravayal? I was talking about like give a whole speech, all the guys that got back from the army and everything. And he was talking about like Yosef at Tzaddik, and like this week's parsha, we take his bones out with us. And he talks about like Yosef at Tzaddik and like what like the job of the Tzaddik is. Yosef's whole story, what did it start out with? Dreams. He's presenting the world with the dreams. And he went like a whole like malach, but like in short, he says that that's like the job of the tzaddik, just to like show people their dreams, show them like what they're capable of, show them whatever you thought you're capable of, you're capable of even more, and that even more, and that's the whole job of the tzaddik, just to like show you your own light and your own potential. And he says that's also they leave Egypt, they're like exiting into the unknown. They're going to chase their dreams, and they take Yosef's bones with them. So like to have that like inner Yosefness, that dream chasing, that hunger for dreams. Just like a nice little thing that he mentioned.
Whoa.
Strong. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Every time he just opens his mouth to speak, I promise you, I'm just like, oh my god. And then like you go over to speak to him, she's like, hey, what's going on, Boomer? Like daps you up. Like he's so with it. But every time he speaks, he just goes to another world. Insane.
We have to meet the Romano. We have to have a reunion there.
Yeah,
He's-
yeah, fully. I'm telling you, also nowadays there's a lot of English speakers in Tzva Yeshiva.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Me, Mayor, we have a good friend our age that was he's from. You have a stash, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah, for real?
Kira has that stash, man.
Yeah, but there's like 4 or 5 like just full on like fluent English speakers.
Crazy.
So if you guys come, you'll have
Right. That
good show
idea you said, is both connected with that and the one Jack mentioned as well of the mind reader. Oh, so strong, so quick. But they mentioned it Yud Shvat for bringing last night with the rabbis. They mentioned a concept that I hadn't heard before. First of all, they revealed crazy secrets with the Rebbe. I didn't know, like crazy things. The Rebbe was a full Navi. He said he was a prophet. I didn't know he ever said that. He said a certain like prediction. He said, I'm telling you this as a Navi, as a prophet, whatever. But they said, it's common in his inauguration speech, Basi Lagani, he spoke about the Nasi, So they say the concept of Nasi, how's it spelled? Nita, the Hebrew speaker, will tell us, what is it? Nun Samech Yud Aleph, right? So it's a beautiful idea, Jack. Definitely, I like this one. So they say it stands for Nasi Neshama Shel Yaakov Avinu. Nasi, Nun Samech Yud Aleph. And it's like Yaakov Avinu, like why Yaakov Avinu? What is the Nasi? They say there's one Nasi of each generation, one like leader soul of each generation, like a king or a prince. And people say that the Rebbe, and he pretty much said by himself, he was the Nasi of the generation, of course. So why Yaakov? Why not Avram, Yitzchak, Moshe, Yosef? Why? So they say that although Avram and Yitzchak, of course, were like forefathers, Yaakov, because they were called Yisrael, his soul contained within every soul of the Jewish people. And it's known that this is only the same him and Adam Arishon. Adam Arishon, of course, has the souls of everyone in the entire world. And it's said that Yaakov looked actually exactly like Adam. He had the same beauty, the true direct creation of God, beauty, magnificence that Adam Arishon had. Yaakov had it as well. It's interesting to note, though, when they were saying that, we know that Yosef is said to look like Yaakov, and we know that only Yosef and Rachel are described with Yafeh Mar, Yafeh Tov, Yafeh Mar. So probably also Rachel and Yosef had maybe the beauty as well, because they looked like Yaakov. Yaakov looked like Adam. I don't know, but so they say that like idea, that attribute of having all the souls contained, a super soul, if you may, is what Yaakov had, and that's what the Nasi has. That's what they say the Lubavitcher Rebbe had, the Nasi of the generation. Whoever it is now, whether Rav Shlomo is one, Rav Yair, we don't know, Rav Jack or Rav Nita maybe, all of the souls of Am Yisrael are contained and are in tune with that soul. So just like you're saying that the Hasidic master has the mind reading capabilities, it's true. That's why the Rebbe knew what everyone needed in any area, any category. He was connected with all the souls of the world. Even they said he considered himself like the world leader, not just the leader of Am Yisrael. But the other thing is, though, it's maybe you've heard it, but you said about that's the Nita, and I learned that one in yeshiva. I don't know if Nita, you're here for when he said it. The foot kicks a ball far, the arm can throw it farther, the eyes can see farther, the ears can hear further, but the mind can see furthest of all. Something like that.
Wait, question or after?
Oh, what was the last part? There was something else. I don't remember.
No, so I have a question. I think Rabbi Nachman in Torah, if I'm correct, he stops at the head. He talks about how powerful the thoughts are. But check it. Check it.
No, yeah, that's what
The hands go. The hands go even higher. Oh, he talks about the hand also.
No, I don't think he said the hand. No, the hand was the beginning. No, the hand was the beginning. He threw the ball.
So my question is,
oh, they have the
at the end, the hand goes even higher than that.
Oh, the hand.
So it's a choice. The hands can go, they're the extremes, they're the moon. The mind is the sun though. But there's the certain the joke. I don't know if the ever know the joke. It says that there's a certain Rabbeinu that he's a bit of a schlump. He would always do the least he had to do. He would take every the opposite of astringency, leniency. Always take leniencies, the most lenient approach, be it in tzedakah, in kashrut, in kibbud av v'ein, whatever. He would take the most lenient approach, but he would keep all the mitzvot, but always he'd find a lenient approach, one way or another, a finesse, something like that. B'ezrat Hashem, after he reached 120 years, he went up to Shemaim, and he gets to the gates, beautiful gates. He sees, wow, the heavenly, the Heliger, mamash, the Heliger, the Shemaim, and he sees two angels come. They usher him in, small room with one window, chair, and some water. And they say, he says, "No, what do you mean? I kept all the mitzvah. What is this? Why am I?" They said, "No, what do you mean? This is Gan Eden, just the most lenient approach." So,
oh my God!
One of the best slappages, but it's so strong. I've been having a lot of dreams about it. That I think, similar to that concept, and what Reb Jack said, the mind, mamash, shapes the reality. I think in a lot stronger way than people realize yet. Science is catching up to it actually pretty quick. There's a lot of recent studies of stuff that the perception changes the outcome of the study. I don't know if you've heard about this. It's something like depending on whether a certain observation is being observed, changes what actually happens. So meaning that the mind has more power over the physical world than what we've really ever known. And I think it's very, very true in spiritual matters and spiritual realms as well. In that, like, actually the way that you believe something to be true is now the way that it is true for you. So someone that believes that like the lenient opinion is true, I think the best way Rav Akiva Tat says it, and this is whatever, he speaks about the how is it possible that you can have two rabbis that disagree on kashrut? So what does it mean that there's a Torah Shabbal Peh? It's real or it's not real? He says the most beautiful sentence in the world. Just, you have to open your hearts. But he says that there's it once happened that there was a Rebbe, there's a certain Talmud that had like this sickness, crazy sickness, and he was gonna die. Something like that, he was gonna pass away. And he went to the Rav of Israel. He lived in Israel, and something like this, or he was gonna die there. He went to some guy, some other rabbi told him, you have to go to Spain, where the Moroccan rabbi is there. Pretty much what he was saying, though, I don't know, whatever, I said it very short form. The idea was that the sickness he had was related to this like certain sickness in the throat or whatever that's very similar to a law of kashrut about a sickness in the throat of an animal. And the rabbi in Israel had ruled at that time for all of Israel that if the animal has the sickness, it's not kosher. And so like it's not considered like alive or whatever. But the Moroccan rabbi in Spain had ruled that thing, it's still kosher. Something like that. And so he said, if you go to that country, you'll be able to live there because the rabbi changed the reality through his halachic ruling. I said it in like not a good way at all, but I think it's still like kind of can make sense. That depending on what the rabbi actually rules changes like what's really going on in the world, like on a very, very, very real level. And we have to realize how much our mind can do. Like what we believe is literally what's going on.
That's really, really insane. It's crazy that you bring that up. Right? Remember Meir Lazar, of course. So he just did a week-long seminar. The one of Rebbein from Aish, Rav Glazer, I think. Rav Glazer, bro, like the whole thing, like black belt, like meditator, India for years, like Baal Tshuva, the whole thing. And this course is called The Possible You. It's about like a self like internal like discovery, emotional intelligence, like Hashem, like just incorporates everything. And Meir is telling me one of the things is just becoming a yes person. Just all day, like people walk around like a thought, like we hold ourselves back because like we think like the answer is going to be no. And like through this whole course, like they were developing this idea. Mary was telling me about it. If you just become a yes person, just like divert all your energy into like, yes, things will work out. They will. And like Mayor was telling me, there's also like homeworks. Like it's every night for a few hours in it, like homework objectives. And one of the objectives was like 5 no's. Go to like a store and just like ask them for something like they're gonna say no. Like Mayor, he had to like ask his uncle if he could move in with him. He knew he was gonna say no, and he still just had to just like accept the no. It's like a really crazy like seminar, bro.
Wow.
I think the stat, he does it all over the world. I think like 20,000 people have done it. Like it's like nuts. This guy's the Rebbe, and now he's training Mayor to start giving it over.
He's gonna give it over to H.
No, he's gonna give it over to like the world, whoever
Oh
wants.
my gosh.
But it's like a really like insane, like in-depth thing.
It's crazy.
But oh bro, you're talking about Chabad. Tonight's a huge night in Chabad, bro. It's a double hitter. It's
Tonight?
the yurt site of the tonight. So last night. No, so last night was the yurt site of the previous Rebbe, and then tonight, 1 year later, right after the date of his passing, the Rebbe took his place as Rebbe.
Last night.
No, they usually just do it together.
You sure?
So
I think so. I don't know that. That's what they told me.
That's my calendar. They both say on Yud Shvat on the 10th. It says both of them happen.
Oh yeah.
And the other one, the
Oh,
Yemenite Kabbalist, also is Yud Tzad.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But the Rashash. Someone just told me a crazy story about him.
Yeah, it sounds like it would be the Rashash of Shlomo Sharabi.
Yeah, brother. I'll it's too long, but I'll send you guys a voice memo after about the Rashash story. Like, nuts. I definitely will.
Wow.
I
have to run. Great seeing you guys, Mamash. We should all have health, happiness, and success. Just the clearest, purest, most exalted thoughts. Mamash is connect to the highest places. And Chavra will continue tomorrow. Kavod Shabbos Kodesh.
Amen.